All right, welcome everybody to D&D Civil War session number 9, titled Choices. Are you guys ready to get into the recap? Okay, so this entire campaign started off with everybody receiving a letter informing them that they had been selected to participate in a festival committee. The city of Toledo, here in the Living Isles, was putting together the biggest festival of the year, the Festival of Remembrance. And in doing so, they needed people close to the families and the city itself to kind of interact and understand the problems that the other people within the realm, the other leaders of the wards, were having trouble with. So they organized a group, this task force that was going to go out and almost kind of just go out and try to appease these people and make things right so that when this event took place, there wouldn't be any kind of trouble or, anything really making things bad for them. In doing so, they invited one additional person, Vivien, who had not previously been in this realm, back to the Living Isles to learn more about her heritage and the people that are on one half of her family's side. And as everybody gathered and got together and got aboard the lightning rail, the underground lightning rail titled the SLR, they all started making their way towards Upper Toledo when things started to go south almost immediately. In the standard train car of the SLR, one of the party members was running into a bit of trouble. It seems that a couple of thugs had this idea that this person was a changeling, even though as you looked at them, they didn't look like a changeling, but looked more like a drow. They were pretty assertive and were pretty determined to point her out as being a changeling, but it didn't last very long before things elevated, and people got upset, and a fight broke out. But it turns out that as the fight was taking place and the guards were coming to take care of things in the coach, other things were transpiring in the front, in the noble portion of the train itself. Ashkala, the Gladamain, one of the Gladamain High Council, was aboard this train with the rest of the party, and an assassin had found his way into their train car and attempted, and I say attempted very lightly because he did a poor job, attempted to attack or assassinate Ashkala. She reacted quickly, knocking him over and rushing over and putting the brakes on the train immediately. As it did, the train car coming to a screeching halt, the cart that they were in closed off entirely, locked down, and sort of a flashbang, a blindness and deafness spell cast over the cart and immediately put everything to a halt. The guards, seeing this, quickly rushed forward and ensured that the noble was okay and Ashkala was fine. She would lead, eventually, the party trying to lead them out. The guards, however, didn't really like that and decided to take all of them in for interrogation and set down at one of the Ebon Company's holding cells to determine exactly what transpired here. Again, through some discussions and a little bit of investigation, they were able to determine that obviously the party members weren't really at fault here, but were mostly being, one of them was mostly just being harassed. And of course, the assassination plot made things a little more difficult. Not knowing really what was going to transpire, eventually, Queen Mariel would show up and would basically let all of them know that she's going to set them free and they are going to come with her. As they left, they made their way up to Upper Toledo and setting down within the High Hall, the Gladamain Council's temple, where they all make the decisions of the realm with the people of the realm within it. The group walks in and begins meeting some of these individuals who are going to be helping along the way. Nobles and magistrates of various wards within the city. Meeting some of the members of the 22 being the leaders of each ward represented within a council. They would talk to them and learn more and start to get a feel for things and understand some of the issues that the realm was actually faced with. As discussions started coming to a close, they would once again speak with Mariel and learning of something a bit odd. That odd thing being a warning that Mariel had previously received from Archmage Althea of the the followers of Ezator. As she was speaking with him, some tones that he made and the discussions he had with them were unsettling, giving her a bit of an off-put and kind of eerie feeling about the things that he was saying, warning her that this time things would be different. The party would take this warning and, with the information that they gathered, would head over to the Toledo Registry, where they would try to learn more about the locations of certain inns, as they weren't quite as familiar with the city as they would like to be. They headed over to the registry, and within the registry was Hilda Gray, an older woman who was working a government job, and she didn't give a damn how much of a hurry this party was in. As the party walked in, they grabbed a number and sat down and waited for their number to be called, only to realize the number had already been passed. They looked back at the box and sort through and noticed all of the numbers are completely jumbled up and out of place. After solving the mystery, they finally walked back over with number in hand, the correct number that was about to be called. They walked back up and asked Hilda for the information, to which she wanted documentation that the party didn't have, and almost sent them back out and asked them to leave, but the party solved their little discrepancy and finally filled out everything and got them everything they needed. And handing this information over to Hilda, Hilda then sent one of her friendly robot companions off to go and take care of the situation and get them the information that they were needing, which were the locations of several inns throughout the city itself. From here, they went to the other side of Upper Toledo and visited the Hall of Remembrance, and here things got a little strange. As they're wandering through, a majority of the information that they were learning here was about what transpired during what is now referred to as the fall of the Ascended. Older individual, Curator Ceritus, awaited them whenever they approached. He began to bring them all around the temple, or around the hall, and almost like a museum style setup, and introduce them to different things: the champions of the Empire, the heroes of the Alliance, the fall of the Ascended, and of course, the relics from the war itself. As they begin to learn more and more and asking questions, trying to figure out every detail they could about the situation here, at everything from the challenge at Keltara, where the party was fighting the Were-Tiger, to Skytarnith, piloting the Rotten Mangrove. As they finished all of this, they began to walk over and checked out the relics, and the relics were interesting of sorts. The original peace treaty, signed by all the leaders, including the blood splatters of Lady Gladamain across it. The dagger of Krod was amongst it. The pyramid relic, which Dorn had in her possession. Eleonora's book, the shards of Twilight that had been retrieved, the 5 shards of Twilight, Formash's spell book, and of course, shards of Tyrus's Staff of Power, which had been shattered into a billion pieces. As the group looks over this, an unsettling feeling fills the heads of 3 of the party members. And it was none other than Tyrus himself, Kai Gladamain. It was here that Kai would speak to them in a much different tone than perhaps maybe they were expecting. He came to them looking for help. He warned that the Lich Queen was planning an attack on the realm, and in order to stop it, the artifact that they were asked to retrieve by the Drow Ward leader, let me pull up his name because I've forgotten it. I know. Yes, Tareth Krybut. Asking them to retrieve an artifact from the gnomish city directly south of the location that they're currently in, on the island of Misseltherm. Kai warned that if the Lich Queen gets her hands on this, the invasion would be imminent. She would have what she needed, and her attack would pretty much go off without a hitch. Taking this information, the group stops, and immediately they think about what needs to transpire. They quickly get on the SLR. They go back to Celebrant Plaza. Everybody sits down, and they start to discuss how are they going to approach this and what do they do. The party then decides at this point that maybe they should talk back to Mariel. Mariel had some other premonitions and things of that nature, and maybe it's best to involve the Queen in a situation like this with her own brother, potentially being involved in something high caliber like this. They would go back and speak with Mariel, and Mariel would again begin to agree and explain a bit as to the artifact which you were going to were set off to retrieve, the Bynix Eye. She would explain that the Gladamain were the reason that the Drow population pretty much just vanished from the Living Isles for a very long period of time. She would explain that this artifact was literally the only thing that kept them from losing this war against the tyrant king Rhythes, the black or blue dragon that was stalking the lands here. And in order to save themselves, well, they offered this relic to make to appease this tyrant. From here, the party took this information and, not really knowing what to do yet, decided maybe it was time to let things simmer down a little bit and enjoy a show. So they immediately went to one of the inns that they had on their list. This inn had plenty of things for them to enjoy, including a sword fight, which most of our party lost at, attempting to defeat this Black Knight that was basically playing as a member of the Scarlet Hand. Every party member attempting to step up to defeat him was quickly defeated and sent on their way. That was until Freddy, I believe it was, finally stepped in and cheated a little bit and was able to defeat the Black Knight. At which point, the Black Knight would drop to one knee, and the beginning of a special performance would take place. A performance dedicated to the fall of Tyrus. Each one of the actors played a very specific part. One, playing the role of Tyrus, was pretty much the main guy of this bardic company that you were meeting with here, and the others all taking the roles of the various heroes that help to save the realm. With Tyrus performing and everybody doing and following fairly closely to the information that they kind of know of the fight, they would go to a break, at which point the party would begin to talk to them and question and come to the ultimate decision that this group is who they wanted to perform at the festival, or at least one of the groups they want to perform there. From here, after spending most of the evening, the party would go home, rest, relax, and the end of a very eventful day one would come to a close. After waking up the next morning, everybody would regroup once again, this time making their way over towards the docks. It was here that the next part of one of the issues that they had found would start to reveal itself to the party. The docks were shut down. From one end all the way as far as the eye could see, Warforged dock workers stood almost shoulder to shoulder, enough space that somebody could walk between them, between each and every one of these Warforged. Went from one end to the other, completely motionless, not paying any attention to anybody, and not harming anybody. One of the dock workers, or one of the individuals in this what seemed like a protest, was Sarge, a Warforged with what looks like a ton of etchings all over his body, making some pretty big demands, saying that it was their time to earn proper wage and to be treated like all of the humanoids here within the realm. And they were tired of just being slaves to the dock masters and the people of House Thorandar. Taking this, the party would go and try to find one of the dock masters and try to get a better understanding of what's going on. They would speak to Joseph Vernala, one of the head dock masters here, who pretty much was not impressed with the party and wanted really nothing to do with them. Okay, Viv. taking the dock master and taking him down to the dock and explaining that they have basically a guy sitting here trying to talk and negotiate for them. He walked down the docks with them, and unfortunately, Sarge was nowhere to be found. As the party is wandering around looking for Sarge, they end up heading north instead, not finding the individual they're looking for, and made their way to speak to somebody at House Lorandar. At House Lorandar is where they met Alistair de Lorandar, the high-ranking official of House Lorandar here in the Living Isles, and the leader of the Windrights Guild, at least here in their Kaledo branch. Very young, dashing, very charismatic. They walk in and go to meet him, and he pretty much explains to the party that everything that's going on, the Warforged, above all else, are paid greater than most of the humanoids. So the argument doesn't really make a lot of sense to them. Some additional discussions would lead them to understand that a few months back, a purchase of some new Dossets were made with House Caneth, using some new technologies to try to make the Warforged perform at kind of like peak performance, I guess would be the best way to describe it. Pretty much like a Dawson is basically just a magic item that boosts some of their stats. You know, that's in out of character concepts. It's basically just a magic bracers or something along that line. They would sit down and listen to everything that Alistair had to say, and at the end, Alistair would tell to the party if they were interested in speaking to somebody at House Caneth, Aaron Caneth, Aaren, is the magistrate of the Trade Ward, and of course, you're welcome to go and speak to him and get some more information. Taking that, the party would begin to start heading back over towards the docks, where the little kid that they had met earlier informed them that he had finally found Sarge, and he was also within the Trade Ward. Quickly rushing off to go find Sarge, they would stand face to face with him and watch as he is assassinated. A large metal shard piercing through his chest and immediately deactivating him. The party would reach up, grab onto the shard, taking a bit of a shock from it, and yank it out of his chest, and take it with them as they go to hunt the assassin. The assassin running as fast as he possibly can through the city, knocking people over, ducking in and out of crowds, and then eventually making his way inside of a house. As the party reaches the house, the door opens wide, and within it, the assassin and two armed militiamen. But these aren't militiamen like anything you've seen. They look like true soldiers. Not just soldiers, but they were Emerald Claw soldiers. The Emerald Claw being one of the known factions of Lady Vol, the Lich Queen. Yeah, the Lich Queen. Sorry, I was drawing a blank there for some reason. Taking a look at these guards, the party immediately backed away and called for some members of Ebon Company to go over and investigate. And they did. Unfortunately, to their demise, as the 4 guards walked into the building and were quickly slain, leaving our adventurers to help to defeat them. The party would burst through the door and attack and drop the 2 guards, with the assassin with the assassin escaping through one of the higher up windows in the eastern wall of the building. He would escape and begin to take off running, and as the party quickly began to dispatch the two soldiers, the party would then split, some of them staying behind with these soldiers, the others giving chase to the assassin. Vivien would explain in great detail what transpired to some of the other Ebon Company guards who were in the area, try to get them to investigate and take care of the situation there, while others, namely Celeste, Freddy, and Gjest, would bolt off following the assassin. The assassin would lead them to a second house. Taking a moment, realizing everything that had just taken place in the last house, they were a little more cautious with this approach. Taking a look, all of the windows were closed shut, completely pitch black on the inside, hard to see anything. The party would open the door, and two of them would step forward, with Gjest and Celeste stepping in. A darkness spell had been cast over the chambers, and as it dropped, it revealed that the party was locked into a cage, the door shutting behind them, slamming shut, and no handle on the inside for them to escape. The assassin would warn them, handing them a scroll. Within this scroll, as they unfurled it, it was 3 hand-drawn images, very detailed, very well thought out, and very personal. These images were that of the members of the party in scenes that normal people wouldn't have seen, things that they wouldn't have known. Taking this note, Celeste would wrap it back up and tuck it away. And as the assassin stood there, his archers pointing arrows at the party, or the two party members, Jess would get an idea and decide, maybe I should turn into Kai. Doing so, she changes, taking the form of Tyrus, and looking back at the assassin, we begin to kind of tear him down a little bit and try to intimidate him, learning that the assassin was working with the Lich Queen, and the Kai isn't exactly in the best of standings with the Blood of Vol, or that their faith, or the leaders of the faith. As the conversation began to come to a close, they would let the party leave, 2 members stepping back outside, before the rest of the group rejoined. As they rejoined, the group discussed things a bit and decided they wanted to investigate a bit further, despite the fact that the assassin warned them that their life would be forfeit if they continued to pursue. But they continued and searched into the house, where they found absolutely nothing. Well, nothing immediately. They walked around the corner and found a hidden passageway that would lead down a flight of stairs to presumably the sewer section of the city. But it was here that the party stopped and decided, this isn't a good idea. Maybe we shouldn't pursue this. As the evening progressed, the party would head back out, going to one of the local eateries, and everybody sitting down at the bar, just trying to wind down and really revel in everything that has taken place. At which point, Gjest would decide this isn't the life for her. Looking to the party, would turn, walk away, leaving the rest of the group behind, deciding this isn't her fight and she doesn't need to be here. Which is where we pick up now, our party sitting at the inn, eating and just relaxing. What would you guys like to do? Eat and relax it is. There's some fantastic food, that's for sure. Correct. Yeah, you ran back trying to find the kid. You went back to where Sarge was. Kind of looked around. You just haven't seen him since he gave you information of where Sarge was. No, the kid's pretty slippery. I mean, he's a pickpocket. He tries to stay in the shadows as much as possible. So uh, he tends to try to just disappear. Mm-hmm. That you do. You promised him some gold if he could find Sarge. Correct. No, this is just a tavern slash eatery uh, that you guys stopped at, just trying to kind of clear your heads and discuss amongst yourselves what your next motives are, next moves are going to be, and how you're going to approach things. Getting pretty late already. I'd say it's probably close to 9 or 10 bells in the evening. Uh, you were in Trade Ward, and then that's where the chase transpired and started leading you. You're kind of on that threshold between the two wards now. Just kind of leading. It started leading you back a little bit towards where the dock ward was. Next tavern that you could go to is. I have that here. One sec. You are. Ooh. You are by the trade ward. That's the closest one. Let me see. Making sure. Yeah, I think there's one here. I'm just checking my notes. Dark. Yes, the Blushing Baker is in the trade ward. kind of looking around the tavern you're in here. It's fairly quiet. You could tell most of the people that came here, they don't stick around for the ale. They come here for the food, and once the kitchen closes, they really don't care much about being around. It's just standard fare kind of ales and things of that nature, so it's nothing really to write home about. But it's quiet, it's relaxing, and best of all, the tavern owner is very kind and very generous with all of the drinks that he's pouring. So it makes the night a little more relaxing and easier for you guys to just kind of take a deep breath after everything that's taken place. Okay. To which the innkeeper walks over and begins to slide it over and said, "Do you want change for this?" Nods and tucks the gold piece into his pouch. Yeah, the floor is yours, guys. So, whatever you're doing, if you want to sit and discuss things and try to get to the bottom of it, or if you want to plan out your evening, or if you want to just go home and sleep, you can do any of those. Whatever you want to do. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. As you're talking, Vivien, you watch as the innkeeper walks up, hands you a very small glass filled to the brim, places it in front of you. About 5 minutes has passed as you're having this conversation. Places it in front of you and kind of looks over to you and just nods and leaves the conversation. As you do, getting this taste of almost like a hickory flavor, you take a sip of it, and holy shit, is it strong! Like as soon as it touches your tongue, it's like, I don't know what everybody's experience is with like scotch, but it almost takes your breath away as soon as you take a sip of it. Yes, it tastes good. Okay. Yay. Uh-huh. Oh, shit.
Vivien is like, oh my god, someone knows this kind of stuff. She's just like completely shocked first.
We understand completely. Kaifon is a generous but also distant god. Um, and much like our own family, stern and distant and often not there is something to expect from patrons and parentals. You just know that they still love and support you, even if they don't always answer. And as long as they're still providing for you, it should still count for something, right? And
It's just
I gotta make a roll.
Okay.
Should count for something, right? She's mostly lying to herself.
So you have to roll insight on yourself?
No, it's just how convincing does she make that sound? Because
I
it's
mean,
like
she
she's also lying to herself.
She seems very confident in what she's saying, and as she's telling this to Vivien, just by a passive understanding and perception, you would believe what it is that she's telling you. To her, it's almost like she's, like you said, she's trying to convince herself, she's trying to convince herself that this is the case. And yes, it is very well practiced because, she's grown up in this household all of her life. So she, even if she doesn't feel she completely fits in, Yeah, it makes sense. You're very deceptive on this, and it's easy, or it's really difficult for anybody to pick out otherwise.
I suppose you're right. It's just I'm relatively new to all this. I didn't have magic before I met my patron, and my mother doesn't even know that I have a patron. And they used to talk to me a lot. And then they stopped one day, and I haven't heard from them in years now. And they promised to answer questions, and I haven't received those answers yet. And so I'm
You
just
haven't heard
losing
from them
faith.
in years?
One second. I'm gonna look at
Yeah,
something.
check those notes because there are details of it.
See Circe when she said, "I haven't heard from him in years." That pamphlet's starting to come back up.
slowly pulling it back out. There is an important detail in there.
I haven't heard from them since I was little, but I still, feel them. I still feel the power that they give me. It's just they don't speak to me.
Are you feeling dissatisfied with the arrangement you have with your patron?
No, not exactly. I guess maybe I'm reevaluating our deal.
Well, it's not uncommon for warlocks to try to seek a better arrangement with their patron as they obtain more power, or even break the contract once they feel their service has been done. Have they given you any sort of mission or objective?
Um, I don't think so. They just they just came to me during a time of confusion, and he offered me power, and he offered me answers. And I mean, I have the power, which I definitely enjoy. I just don't have the answers yet. And it's only now really that I am questioning why he hasn't given me the answers. I'm sure you noticed how I was acting a bit weird earlier.
Yes, you were talking to somebody new. Another patron, perhaps.
No, not a patron. I I don't know how to say this without sounding completely insane, but I see things. I see people who I guess aren't there for everyone else. Earlier today, I saw the guard and some others alive, but they were dead.
You see dead people.
I don't know because I wasn't around a lot of dead bodies as a kid, but I still saw people and other things.
I see. Well, this is an interesting predicament. If you're unsatisfied with your patron, maybe you should think about making a new arrangement or finding a new patron. And it's entirely no pressure. But if you wanted to visit, what did we call the temple for Kaifon?
The Starlight Temple.
If you wanted to visit the Starlight Temple and see if Kaifon has a place for you within his ever burning heart, then you might consider it. Or you might find a different path.
I will definitely consider what you've said.
Good. That's all I ask, and thank you for sharing this with us. That's something not many people are able to openly talk about so quickly with new friends. So I do appreciate it, and keep in mind it will stay secret between us.
Thank you.
And then I hand her the pamphlet.
I'll take it and tuck it away.
And to clarify for you, Vivien, no, you have not been given any particular quest or anything from your patron. Give me... I want to see how this is going to go. Give me a religion check real quick.
Hey, I don't even know jack shit about who my patron even is.
Yeah, I mean, it just to you, it doesn't make sense as you're kind of looking at the entire picture, trying to understand why a patron wouldn't answer the calls of one of his followers. To you, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. You think a patron would react the way that you would want them to react. Some of what Calypso said was kind of true. You run into these very specific situations where you get in with a patron and the patron is just honestly too busy to deal with any of the nonsense of their followers. So a lot of times you get silence, you get nothing from them. To you, again, you gave up the only part of this whole situation. The only thing you gave up is you promised to your patron your soul once this was over. That's all you really gave up in all of this. So you're still waiting on that. Okay, well, he's giving me power. What do I do next? And because there has to be a catch. You're not sure what it is.
I haven't got my answers yet.
Mm-hmm.
Vivien's just gonna continue to drink until she's drunk.
Okay.
So will also.
Go ahead and give me a con save after finishing the first drink, Vivien. Okay, you saved after the first drink. Do you consider? You said continue to drink until you're drunk, right?
Yep.
All right.
I'm gonna pay after every drink so I don't forget once I'm drunk.
Okay.
As well.
Same thing. If you're drinking the same thing, go ahead and give. Yep. There you go. You're starting to feel it. 2 drinks in, and you already feel like you're on jello legs at this point. Thankfully, you're able to save against the feeling of actually getting sick from the alcohol, but you're definitely drunk at this point. Calypso, ale after ale, they continue to go down. You give me a con save as well, please. Unfortunately for you,
welcome back to this game.
welcome back. Unfortunately for you, you're not able to withstand the effects of all the ale that you were taking in for the night and start to black out a little bit.
That's fine. Nobody drinks to stay sober.
Yeah, no. So, begin to black out. Things get a little crazy. I kind of envision Circe's playing the party drinking mom, taking care of everybody. But
I know helicopter parent, sink or swim.
But with that,
Celeste probably is.
yeah,
Circe has a hip flask. She knows how to party.
but with that, the night starts to come to a close as 12 bells begins to ring, not giving you a whole lot of time to relax. The inn beginning to close up shop for the night, issuing its last call, and you all start to head out with Freddy already heading back. Where are the rest of you guys going?
We should crash at the temple tonight. Or the Parager's house. That's fine, too.
I will go where the wind takes me, because I'm drunk.
So I'm going to guide these 2 drunks to the Parager's house so that they don't end up in an alleyway.
Vivien's supposed to come back to the Gladamain Tower, or whatever it was.
That's where she was staying, yes.
And that's where my stuff is, and the family I'm supposed to be visiting.
Yep.
But
Celeste
I'm
will make sure she
visiting
gets
family,
back.
right?
Okay. So the party splitting up with Celeste helping Vivien to make her way back to Ashkala's house, and the others heading to the temple. The night winds down. Everybody falls asleep, sleeps late into the day, recovering from the effects of all the alcohol the night before. As you wake up, where's the group set to meet up at?
Two quick questions. Are we level 3 since our rest now?
Since your rest, yes.
And then how much did my 2 drinks cost?
Your 2 drinks in total, it was, I think 20, they were 20 silver each. Very, very expensive drinks. You asked for the best of the best.
Would 2 gold cover that?
At 20 each, that's
would be
2
I don't know the
gold
conversion
each.
rates.
Yeah, so it'd be 4 gold.
Oh,
total.
so she'll give 5 gold because she was drunk and doesn't know how to count money drunk.
Okay. Yep. Taking the 1 gold tip happily. Ends the night there.
Have it short rest. We're healing. Remind me how that works. It's tabbed in here, isn't it?
Yep. Short rest healing is just like regular short rest healing. You can roll hit die.
When we initially gained the level up, did we gain the hit points, or do those add on now that we rested?
The hit points add on now that you've rested.
Okay, so I got to do some fancy math. Hold on.
Mhm.
All right, so and then short rest. Where's
Mhm.
your healing chart?
Mhm.
I'm just trying to remember what the short rest healing is.
Hit dice.
Is it just a hit die?
Yep.
You
Okay.
can use as many hit dice as you want per
Yep.
short rest, but you don't
When-
get them back till
Till
long.
long rest.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the recovery rate on that? Okay, so a long rest.
Mhm.
All right, I'm gonna burn 1 here.
Alrighty.
8? That's not bad. I'm almost at full.
But will that be enough?
26 out of 28. I think I'll be fine. Well, did we? I will probably meet at the Gladamine Tower then.
Okay. So heading.
At least Cersei and I will meet there. We don't know where Freddy went.
Yeah. And yeah, unfortunately, he's not even here for us to push forward with that.
Power outages suck, everyone.
That's fine. We can push forward even if he's not here and continue that story because yeah. Let's see, what did we have? Trying to remember the name of the tower. The Veritas Tower. That's where everybody, all the Gladamain live.
It's the Gladamine Tower, let's be real.
It is the Gladamain Tower. Yeah, you guys meet up. The Veritas Tower. Actually, it's right here. Let me pull you over to the map here. You guys should be over this way. Undo that, please. Yep, you are right here. All right. So what's the plan for the day?
What is the plan for the day?
Yeah, the fair rights for the Warforged was kind of botched.
Well, their ringleader's dead, so
And we learned that they do have fair rights, so
at
Yeah,
least we were
fair.
told that they have fair rights.
And they are still deactivated on the dock. They did turn. I left that out of the recap with Jess interacting with them, and they turned around, activated momentarily, did a 180, and then deactivated again. They are still on the docks, still standing there, still deactivated.
Curious.
Well, we still did have tavern stuff to do, and we need to make preparations for the main quest.
Oh yes, going after that artifact that we were then told not to go after.
We were told to still go after it, but whether to give it to the drow was the question.
did we want to go back and talk to that assassin?
No.
No.
No, I'm talking about the captured one.
Oh.
Oh.
Maybe.
We can step on their knees until they tell us things.
Sirs, when did you start talking?
It's
I
all in
wrote
your
that
head.
down. I wrote it, and I held it up.
And we have that gnomish city thing to do still.
Isn't that the main quest?
Yes.
Yeah, so
We
we do
want to
need
do
to.
that with Freddy.
Yeah, we want to, but we can start making the arrangements for it too.
I think we have the thing that will get us the airship to go over there.
In our quest thing, it says we need to meet with Shiras?
Hold on.
They would like the party to meet with Sheris, the archaeologist / shopkeeper, and the trade wards to help them retrieve the item in the gnomish city. Not shitty.
Shitty.
I mean, maybe it's shitty. I don't know.
It's shitty.
I think it's a ruin, so
Probably pretty
It's a
shitty.
shitty city.
Pretty
it is a shitty ruins. Gnomes can't build things.
It's not what they're known for or anything.
It's
Definitely.
candymancy.
There's no city left because it was all made out of candy.
All right. So where are we going?
Did we want to do the Bard's Tale part?
Well, I thought we could only do that in the evenings.
Yeah, we're more likely to get
True.
that done in the evenings. Why didn't anybody suggest we do it last night? God.
Because we were all tired and wanted to party.
I know. It was a joke at the expense of someone who wasn't here. So
That's okay.
it was funnier in my head. Why don't we go talk to
Sheriff?
Yeah, we can go talk to Sheris, I guess, because the assassination plot. Oh, the party knows that the thugs wear the garb of half Lauristina. Do we follow up on that at all?
No, we never did. But that's why I
Curious.
suggested maybe seeing if that assassin was still there. He probably won't talk to us, but we could make sure it's not the same assassin.
We could do that. So I think it's either that or going to talk to Sheris, whatever people want to do. I think
We could
is
do
what
both.
we could do for the morning. I mean, we could, but what would we do first?
Forge, what's closer?
Technically, it would be the holding cell
All right, let's go beat up an assassin.
where you guys are. The holding cell is just northwest of you.
But if there's no objections, we'll go and make sure that assassin is still there. Then.
Let's just not get into any more fights on the SLR.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Okay. So heading to the holding cells.
Yes.
Okay. Let me see. I thought I have a map, but it's not the map I thought I had.
Yeah, there was a map
There were
for that
two
holding
maps.
cell.
Yeah.
It was a cool map. That was a fun event.
Because that was upstairs. Oh, I didn't have the downstairs of that. That sucks. Okay. So, head back over to where you know the Ebon Company holding cells were. As you begin to approach this building, located in Government Center, you approach and there are no guards outside.
A great start already.
Yeah, definitely not terrified immediately.
As you approach the door, you don't really see anything inside either.
I'm gonna knock and be like, "Hello."
Couple moments pass and nothing, just silence.
I'm gonna summon a hand axe.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tentatively go in.
Okay. A little creak of the door as you place your hand on it, open it, daylight shining through the doorway. Pitch black inside. No noise, no anything. No candles lit. The holding cell downstairs, completely open.
What? Can I make it in like an investigation check to see, try to glean what happened?
Sure.
Celeste takes a look and sees the cells completely open. Huh. The Ebon Company really is useless.
Seriously nods.
This is just a little more than concerning. How much this Assassin's Guild is running circles around the whole city.
Guess we probably shouldn't try to antagonize them at this point.
You begin to take a look, trying to figure out exactly what you think has kind of transpired here, and all you see out of your investigation are footsteps leading down the stairs to the door that you're standing at, with traces of blood on them.
The footsteps have blood on them?
Yes, the footprints on the wooden floors here have blood on them.
You did not switch us over to that map.
I did not, because I don't have it downstairs.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Fair.
Jeez,
Do
just
we-
make it downstairs.
Just
How
make
hard
it
could it be?
downstairs.
Yeah, just, right now,
Just
do it.
Do it right now.
Oh, Forge, we get the spell slot from our level up, we get that note, but we don't regain anything else, right?
Correct.
Okay. I just want to double check.
Guys, this is a little concerning.
Oh, no, it's more than a little concerning.
Very concerning.
It's very concerning, and we need to get a message out to another branch of the Ebon Company before we do anything further. Somebody
I
needs
thought
to
this
know.
was the head.
Yes, but there are probably other stations somewhere where other people can come and help with this.
Yeah, you guys know that every ward within the city has its own cell space, basically.
What I'm trying to say is we don't know what's going to be down there, and we don't want to start moving about and touching things until the Ebon Company knows that we didn't cause it.
Oh, I agree with that. It's just I thought this was the one. This was like the
Nope, this is just one of many little holding cells. Think of them as like little police stations scattered all through the city.
Yeah, so this is just a precinct building.
Mhm.
I am gonna go outside and I don't know. Make sure no one goes in, I guess.
Okay.
Because we gotta get word out, so can't have random people moseying on it.
All right, just gonna hang out outside and just kind of keep things secure. The rest of you, do you just want to head to the next precinct, or what do you want to do?
Well, one quick thing from the inside, and definitely without touching anything, putting fingerprints on anything. Calypso wants to activate Divine Sense, and she just wants to give, that like paladin X-ray sweep of the area.
Okay.
Mostly because we've had undead pop up already,
Mm-hmm.
so she's got cause for making sure there's no surprises waiting downstairs or anything.
Yep. Nope. Understandable. Take a quick gaze around with your divine sense, and nothing. You're not pinging anything undead. You're not pinging anything radiant either. So it's just nothing.
Okay, well, I'm not detecting anything out of the ordinary, but it might still be very bad down there.
I still think it's funny that they list Count Strahd in that
Yeah.
description. You know, just that guy that you'll run into all the time.
You know, for instance. As one does, just runs into him randomly.
As you do.
Okay. Somebody heading off to go and get somebody else from Ebon Company?
Yeah, we should go get somebody from Ebon Company.
Okay. Bringing them
So
back.
we're
I'm
not
back.
gonna investigate?
Welcome back.
Not without proper authorities here with us. We can certainly help them, but we are not going to be caught looking around in the area for them to try and place the blame on us a second time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
We
All right.
can certainly come back.
Taking that, you start to think a little bit, knowing that there is the next closest location that you can recall off the top of your head is over near Fort Eltan. There is an Ebon Company station there in the corner. You could stop by, grabbing their attention, taking them on the SLR to quickly hurry back as well. The members of Ebon Company join you, accompanying you back to this holding cell. And the two men that you have there with you begin doing their sweep through the chambers here. As you follow along with them, and I will move you to a new map. Oh, a map, not really new. As you walk in, making your way upstairs as the guards begin to track the blood, you see, as you begin to wander through the upstairs of the holding cells here, the bodies of not just the guard that was on the top floor here, but also Trevarian, the guard captain. His body laid here just beside the stairway, and peeking into each one of the cells, you see that even the civilians that were being held here had been slain as well.
Can we tell how they were killed?
You can go up and...
I think we need a medicine check for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it would be... This would be investigation first to see if you can find wounds for it. And then if it requires medicine, like, yeah, that would be different.
I investigate.
You investigate. As you walk up, taking a look at this individual here, this being Trevarian, the guard captain, as you walk up and kind of look at him, you watch as the guards kind of grabbing onto his body and shifting him, laying him flat onto his back. As he does, you see directly in the center of his sternum a large pierce wound going straight through, right at about the location where you think his heart would have set.
So you say he's going to helpfully point at the stab wound.
It's very clear that there's no heart when she points it out to us.
No, I think he was stabbed in the heart.
No,
I think the heart's
stabbed
still
in the
there.
heart, yeah. The heart's
okay.
there.
It sounded like it was where the heart used to be, and it's like, oh.
Nope.
Some hardcore assassins.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like, wow.
Super hardcore. But no, the individual, you see this pierce wound. Seriously, to you, it resembles the same size wound as what was left in the metal chest plate of Sarge when it pierced through.
Oh. Huh.
So, this is the same people, I guess?
Seems that way.
Yeah, she'll give a nod at that.
It seems like somebody's trying to destabilize the city.
The other guard continues just checks on the body of the other guard at the end here, peeking into the rooms, also noticing the civilians dead, but let's be real, he really cares more about the other guard being dead than he does the civilians at this point.
That guy was just in for jaywalking, man.
Poor guy.
Wasn't this where the racist was, too?
Oh, yeah. I'm not sad about that one.
He's with his boyfriend
Yep.
now?
Yep.
Question mark?
Yeah, I thought his
That's where he was
lover
headed.
was brought back and then he was really...
Yep. The queen offered the services of their priests and clerics to resuscitate the individual and sent him there and basically said, I think you've learned your lesson.
You've learned your lesson. Your punishment is a 500 gold ritual that will bring your friend back to life.
You have to pay this back in inflated installments with interest.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun with that. I'm going to check this body. Same kind of wound on them. I can roll
yes.
another check if you want.
Yep, no, you're good. As you're looking, same kind of thing. This one appears to be, as you walk into the room, this one was actually asleep laying in the bed. So as you walk up, you see through the sheet that's laying over their body, this massive blood stain and the piercing going straight through it into the other person's chest.
I'm gonna go check this one.
Okay. This one, it appears this one struggled a bit. Apparently waking up as this is transpiring, attempting to put up a bit of a fight, but unsuccessful. Looks like several piercings, some of them very shallow in nature, almost as if the person kind of grabbed onto the wrist and like forced them away, but then eventually one of them just piercing straight through.
Can I talk to the guard that's with us?
Absolutely.
Does he, like, look too distraught to talk, though. I don't want to be rude.
He's not distraught. He's very concerned.
Sir?
And he kind of looks over at you and, yeah.
I think that my group of friends might know who did this. Sort of.
And he kind of looks at you.
Have you ever... What's that cult name again?
Mm.
No, the Emerald Claw?
I think that's it. Why didn't I didn't write that down?
It is
It's
the Emerald.
Out of character.
Emerald
It is.
something.
It's the Emerald Claw. Out of character.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. I didn't want to say the wrong thing, though. We yesterday encountered an assassin, another assassin, or maybe the same one, who was tied with the Emerald Claw. So maybe that's who did this.
It seems likely they were holding the assassin that attacked the Gladamane here.
The guard kind of looks at you and says, "And you know where they're at?"
I turn to the rest and I'm like, do we know where they're at?
I don't think so.
I just...
All we know of is
wanted-
that building.
Wait, what building?
There was a building that some of our associates had been led to and were put under an ambush and given a warning not to pursue any further. And she looks to Celeste. We did find access to a tunnel, but we did not explore it any further. The Ebon Company that were within the area also did not feel it pertinent to pursue them beyond that point either. Because they pretty much shrugged you guys off, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not exactly how it happened.
He was like, it's above my pay grade. Y'all
Right.
crazy.
They walked in, took a look around, saw nothing, just an empty abandoned house.
They didn't see the secret passageway, but they were
Mhm.
like, there's nothing here. This is above our pay grade. We're leaving.
They also didn't do any kind of investigating.
They didn't see the bars that they were claiming there were, and as soon as they walked in, like, that was like everything
Yeah,
was...
but that's
yeah.
that's what Calypso's saying.
Yeah.
She's saying they didn't see anything and they didn't feel the need to investigate further. So it's like, it's not she's saying they're terrible and they
Yeah.
suck at their job. She's saying they just didn't see anything and they didn't investigate further.
Yep.
But we
Makes
found
sense.
a secret passage. So if he wants it, here's the location. But we were given a very strong warning not to follow them. And we, like we are doing now, pass the information along to the people who should be handling this.
So here's something that... Yeah. So, okay. Well, after we finish this, I'll cover something else. And we'll recap something, but... Because it's been a while. Actually, you know what? No, I don't want to punish you, because it's been, like, 2 months since we've been able to play. Celeste, as they begin talking, in your head, you hear and remember everything that this assassin was telling you.
About how we'd be killed off if we told anyone or anything like that, which is why I didn't want to mention it.
And he said, and I quote, your choices are simple. You retreat through the door with which you came. You don't look back. You don't speak to the Ebon Company, and you live. Your families remain safe, and you can continue on with this existence you call a life, as if you know nothing which you saw here. Or, your life is forfeit, your families will suffer for your actions, and everything you think you are working towards will be for naught. And if you don't believe my words, perhaps you should go back and check with your Ebon Company friends at Government Center.
Oh, and I shut the hell up and I never said any word of that. Because I'm sure Celeste told us all that.
Yeah.
I'll be right back, but hey, don't have to worry about me spilling any beans.
I'm not spilling the beans ever.
Boy howdy, this sure does look weird. Why did we even show up at this government center they told us not to go to?
Well, they told you to go to it.
Oh, that's true.
So, kind of look around as Vivien is kind of looking and talking with this guard and says, I think we know where they're at. Celeste is doing that. No, don't, no.
Cut.
And by think we know, we mean we have no idea.
Yeah, like feverishly shaking her head, like, no, we're not doing that. To which, Vivien, you turn back, looking back at the guard, and you're like, never mind. Sorry. I'm just confused, I guess.
I'm just a dumb tiefling.
Just a dumb tiefling. So, yeah. You turn and tell the guard, pretty much maybe you're just misremembering things, or you don't really know what's gotten over you, but suddenly you just don't feel right, and maybe you should go. The guards continue their investigation, looking through, not really finding much outside of the footprints and the stab wounds that are present in pretty much every body here. The only exception to that is the guard at the far end, who doesn't look like he was stabbed at all. In fact, he almost looks as if he's been strangled. From the backside, as you kind of lean forward and take a look, you see the marks of what look like a very fine silk rope that has been wrapped around his neck. But otherwise, you find nothing else here. Just the dead bodies of the guards and the guard captain and a few civilians who just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, this is all very unfortunate. You know who this wouldn't have happened to, guys? The Flaming Fist. They wouldn't have suffered those elves to live in the first place.
Seriously, pats Calypso on the back.
So what do you guys do?
Anyways, we should go talk to the people about a boat. An airboat.
Yes, that sounds more pleasant than being...
Mm-hmm.
All right. So with that, the guards, of course, thanking you for pointing this out and letting them know of the situation, immediately beginning to secure the holding cells here and make sure everything's okay. As they do, you quickly make your exit, heading straight towards the SLR once again, at which point we're going to stop and take a short 5-minute break.
Ooh.
All right. I'll be
There's
right
nothing.
Nothing spooky. All right, guys. So yeah, we're going to take 5-minute break. As we do, I want you to watch this video. This video is basically a look into our With Advantage charity event that is coming up in November 4th through the 8th. Watch, listen, learn, know the facts, and we'll be back in about 5 to 6 minutes. So don't go anywhere, guys. All right. So we're back here.
I'm back. Did anybody die?
Nope, not yet.
Yes, sir. Everyone died.
Not yet.
Whoa, why are we rolling? Never mind. Sorry. I was looking at something else.
Wait, what were you looking at?
I was looking at a different screen.
Oh, gotcha. All right, so coming back from break here, you had just explored the government center holding cells to find that all of the guards and the civilians are dead, taking this cue to quickly escort yourselves out of the building and let Ebon Company do their job of securing and investigating. You go back to the SLR, make your way where?
We have to get in contact with the person for the ship.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are headed Trade Ward?
Yes.
Alrighty. Okay, so taking the SLR, you make your way back to this point here. As you begin to wander out, this being the closest that you can get to the trade ward from where you are. Let me just double check something. Yeah, which is up there. You're actually looking for a building somewhat in the center here, from the information that you have gathered about Sheriff's, kind of tucked away in this very hectic section of the trade ward. You begin to search for this kind of travel guide / archaeologist, which leads you almost directly to his doorstep. It's kind of hard to miss it whenever you're wandering around through the city streets. Most of the buildings are very quaint and no noticeable markings or anything like that. Then you find one small house with a very large mounted sign that's directly beside the door that resembles a diamond, a very finely carved diamond. The text surrounding it reads Sheriff's Exploration. And then at the bottom it says, if we can't find it, nobody can. The house itself, though, is literally just a shack. It's nothing. When you reach forward and grab onto the door and pulling it towards you, you look in and there's really not much here. Within it, you find a handful of very small relics kind of litter all of the walls, some tiny plaques beneath them, indicating some of the importance of the relics itself. Most of them seem to be kind of mundane, nothing of value, and it's almost as if, as you're kind of looking around, Sheriff's has never really had the big one, so to speak. the house, with all of its decorations, just feels very cramped. More cramped than you would imagine like a 10-foot by 20-foot building would feel. From the back of the chamber, start to see a very short, kind of portly drow man step out. His eyes kind of glazed over a bit as he starts to walk in towards you. He has very pale, almost gray-colored skin, and kind of stringy and graying black hair. His eyes are a bit dim, kind of grayish, like kind of hazed over. The look of a man that looks pretty defeated and like down on his luck. Quite possibly also drunk. You can't quite identify it yet. He bears the appearance of what you would think an adventurer would have been, like 30 years out of his prime. Though he certainly doesn't look like he'd be able to really do much on his own these days. The individual walks forward and kind of looks at you and... Yeah? What do you want?
Are you sheriff?
That's what it says on the sign.
Oh, I like him already.
We were wondering if you could help us with a mission we've been given.
Yep. What's that? As he says that, you watch as he turns and grabs a glass off the counter in front of him, setting it on the desk that rests in the center of the room, and grabbing a bottle of this like caramel colored liquid and begins pouring it out. A very pungent smell kind of lingers in the air from it.
Representative Kraboth wants us to go to Mizzlethurn to retrieve an artifact.
Yeah, I know. Kraboth's been trying for that damn thing for 4 years.
Yes, but we're going now to help.
You?
Yes, all of us. And he sent us here to you.
Because you're the man to see about getting there.
Huh.
Seriously, he's trying to smile and be friendly, but no.
It's so hard.
Were you not aware of this?
I was. Look, I've been down this path. People just like yourselves. This isn't going to go the way you expect it to.
A lot of people have been telling us that today. Or lately.
Maybe you're in the wrong line of business then.
It's in our blood, though.
That's not very adventuring of you.
Yeah, well, if you've seen as many people die in front of you as I have, you wouldn't be very adventuring either.
We're up to 10 in the last 2 days.
They were the
Check
3
your
guards.
notes.
There was Sarge. There was... It's at least... And then the... Yeah, I think it's 10.
Listen,
Sorry, you were saying death and all.
I went with my friends. I've been doing excursions with them for the past 15 years. It was nothing, just some little things. Things like this that we were sent out to go and find, and, well, looking at all of you, yeah. Listen, My friends died doing this. They died searching for what you're searching for. And they were a little more well-prepared than you are. Did they send you with any gold by chance? The Cravot offered me a lot of gold to be able to do this.
No, we're doing it for the city. We're part of the party
I
planning
don't care
commission.
if you're doing it for the city. Do you have gold? I've got to
How much do you need?
Return to the Cravot and tell him I went double what he originally offered me.
Out of curiosity, what is double?
What is double? Double on 200 platinum pieces.
Oh. We will come back, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
I leave the building.
I will also leave the building.
Yeah.
I guess we're done here.
I don't have
Tell-
400 platinum pieces, do you?
Nope.
Calypso, as you kind of look at him and you're like, all right, I guess we're done. And you start to turn away. Sheriff kind of looks up at you and says, listen, I took my friends into this lost city. People that I've adventured with for 15 years, and they died. And then I found a second group because, well, House Cravot paid very well. And they've died. And yet I'm the only one surviving. I see the four of you, young girls, walk into my chambers here, and you wanted me to take you to this place too. Sorry to tell you, but you're asking for a miracle here, and I don't think it's going to happen.
He seemed very inclined to make this happen. You might get your gold.
No, platinum, my friend.
Right. The exchange rates and all that.
Yes. Well,
If you had asked for Electrum, I would have laughed at you.
everybody knows Electrum is the currency to have.
Especially in the Undermountain.
Yes.
Seriously considers lighting him on fire.
So run back to the Cravot and tell them, if this is what they want, and this is the group that they are sending to me, it is double.
Alrighty, I'll be sure to pass it along.
Grabs onto his glass and just a big drink, watching as you all step out, and just kind of begins pounding his fingers on his desk, like just almost like a nervousness, but at the same time just, very on edge about the whole thing.
Not at all concerning that this is the guy that will take us somewhere.
He owns an airship.
That's true. I mean, our dad could have owned an airship.
He could have someday, but
He owns a magic boat now.
he owns a
Yeah,
magic
I
true.
mean, that's how many magic boats do you guys own?
that he's tied to for the rest of his existence.
Well,
You know, you
He
take
made
the
a
good
similar-
and the bad.
he made a similar arrangement with his wife, so why not also do a boat?
Also true. Also true.
Both the boat and the wife. Cruel mistresses they be.
Cruel mistresses. So Spoon said he is probably not making it back right now. He said he wanted to go to the other taverns to check things out, and then the next day he wanted to go hire the guards. Are you guys comfortable with doing that?
Didn't he already hire the guards?
No, he has to go to hire them.
I gotta be real honest. Freddie didn't really share any of that with us, so there wouldn't have been any motivation
Okay.
for Calypso to go that way.
Yeah, nope, that's perfectly okay. And
We'll do it when you get back, though, Spoon.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen when you get back, but he took off while we were all resting and said he was going to go handle that thing, and he didn't tell us any of his goals, so we don't know what he's doing. So he's just gone for the days.
Yep.
We certainly won't leave without him.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
I'm going to try to fix the music bot. 1 sec.
By the way, when we step out the door, I'm like, young girls, what? That is so rude.
Yeah, usually older men are excited about having a number of young girls in their company, but he seemed a little too invested in his drink.
I'm just saying, I'm an adult. I'm not a young girl.
It's also that, but consider it a compliment. At least he's not calling you old.
True. Also true.
So where do we find I forgot his name, but House Cravat?
Didn't he have an office that we went to?
Yeah, so when you guys were in Upper Toledo, he was in the Gladamain High Hall. You guys could, that every representative of the 22 have an office within one of the buildings there in Upper Toledo. So if you needed to talk to him again, you could always just travel back there and go and speak to him.
I think we'll have to.
Okay.
Because none of us know anyone else with an airship.
Or 400 platinum.
Or your way around the inside of this place that this guy seems to know something about.
I mean, let's be fair. He knows his way around because he took 2 parties in and then they all mysteriously died.
Mm-hmm.
He sounds like a coward. He probably ran away.
He bravely ran away.
Or he killed them both.
Yeah,
Or he killed them.
Yet he still didn't get the relic, so that's
Fair point.
unfortunate. If he's still wanting that relic, you would think you would get the relic first and then kill them. Priorities, guy. Come on.
A little bit, yeah.
All right, so heading back to Upper Toledo then?
Yes.
Jumping
Yeah, it sounds like.
back on the SLR, heading to Upper Toledo. Let's see, you guys would be up here. Just outside the gate as you make your way back to Government Center. Let me fix the map. Oh no! Crash. 1 sec. The map crashed for the stream bot.
Boo.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So I'm reloading it. Alright, cool. Yeah. So, back here, you do know that the Hall of the 22, point number 7, is a place that you could go if you need to speak to an advisor or the member of the 22 itself, the council member of the 22. Sometimes they will be there, other times they will not. So you're welcome to go and check in. If you go there, you may be met with basically an administrative assistant sitting at a desk that's, just going to greet you and say, oh yeah, they're not here, but I can pass along a message.
Take a number.
Take a number. Sit down.
Oh no.
Go back to the registry.
No.
Oh.
I'm telling you, I have an idea for a one-shot that just involves that scene. And I want to make it.
Stay tuned for the most boring part of With Advantage. Bureaucracy, the one shot.
Bureaucracy, the one shot.
It did make a very good Fallout 76 quest.
Yeah, it did.
It did, but they also threw zombies at you.
Yep.
Bureaucrat zombies.
And I considered doing something like that, so that was like my inspiration on that quest too, was like going through that. I was like, holy shit, this is perfect. Like, I get it. This is literal government work right here. This is what I want to do. And I kind of took it and just rolled with it. All right, so heading over to the Hall of the 22 then.
Yes.
All right. So making your way to the Hall of 22. I haven't wrote the description yet. The building here, as you begin to walk up to this, you know most of the buildings in this area, very specifically in this area, most of them are very plain in nature, the sandstone material, except for, of course, the registry that has these large towers that are almost made of like a substance kind of similar to glass. The Hall of the 22 is covered in these very fine columns all the way across it, and then a single standard sized door that leads in through the front. These columns extend from the ground to the top of the building being a 3-story building, reaching all the way to the top, and at the top of it, these pillars, each of them bear the crest of whatever house it is that originally founded the 22. As you kind of wander around and just taking the building in a little bit, you're seeing each pillar, and there are exactly 22 pillars on this building. Each pillar indicating one of the specific houses, and their crest at the top of it. And then otherwise, it is solid sandstone all the way up. There are no windows on this building. As you begin to approach and you come up to this door, it's a very, while it's just a standard shape and size door, it's a very heavy looking door. Like, you reach forward and grab onto the latch, and whenever you pull the door back, it takes a little bit of effort for you to open it. Almost as if it's intentional, like they don't want somebody just bombarding the building and kind of just rushing in and chaos ensuing. So the door opens, and as it swings open, you walk into this very open, elegant lobby. This lobby is literally the entire building, or this entire floor of the building. This section here that you see directly in front of you is just one giant room, and on the far side of it, over in this area, you see these glass panes that look out into a courtyard. In the courtyard, which has several doors on each side of the walls, is where you find some members of the 22 just kind of hanging about, having discussions, you know, just participating in some of the politics of the city. But the floor you're in is almost like a waiting room. You walk in and you see tons of chairs just scattered all throughout the room, and then several desks that line the outside, and amongst those desks you see nameplates that are mounted to the front side of them that indicate who it is that you are going to speak to. From the Gladamanes
Just a nameplate?
Just a nameplate, and it just has the house name on it. It doesn't have like the representative's name. So in the case of like the Craybot, you would see Craybot as the nameplate. That's all you would see. Each one of these are kind of fashioned, and as you're looking, like, you can tell these individuals, the houses that they represent, these people resemble those houses. They're employed from that ward and brought to Upper
Did we
Cleto.
lose him?
Nope. Oh, I just stopped. I'm sorry. I was pressing the button and it just wasn't going through.
It's all good.
What did you guys hear?
These individuals.
These individuals all represent the people of the ward. So, like with the Kraybot, for example, they are Drow, where you would have High Elf for the Gladamain, or the humans that would cover for Stormholm, or the dwarves for the Flathammer. As you walk and kind of look around, and it's kind of overwhelming. You know how when you go to an airport and you're waiting for the plane to load, and you're sitting at the airport and there are like all the chairs of people waiting, and then there's like the one service desk. That's kind of what this is. It's like a loading zone. Like there are people just sitting around waiting to be able to talk to somebody.
Ren, can you relate to that at all?
I work at the security checkpoint, but yeah, I do understand.
All right,
what
just
you mean.
Absolutely.
I'm just checking.
And it's kind of interesting because it's a vast culture of people that are hanging out here, and the people that are coming to Upper Toledo to speak to these representatives, it's a mixed bag of people. It's not like only the Drow are hanging out to talk to the Kraybot, and only the High Elves are waiting for the Gladamain. It's a variety of people. You have Warforged people that are sitting and waiting to speak to Gladamain, or waiting to speak to the Flathammer tribe. All of them are pretty much coming in just to speak to a representative of whatever ward it is that they live within.
The more I visit Upper Toledo, the more I hate it.
Why? Why do you hate it?
More the bureaucracy.
Oh, yeah. That's literally all Upper Toledo is. It's literally the bureaucracy of a metropolitan city. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm. Which means if you're going there, you're probably going to be waiting a while.
Probably. I mean, you're obviously going to sit in lines and take a number and wait your turn. It's not like just going up to Sheriff's house and being like, "Motherfucker, help us." That's not really how it works here.
Can't we do that?
I mean, you're welcome to try.
You can try.
Then you get shot down.
Mm-hmm.
Out of a
there
cannon
people
Vivien?
in
into
line
the sun.
for where we're trying to go?
As you kind of look around the chambers, you do see the desk kind of off into the northeast corner of the chambers that is dedicated to the Kraybot. And with it, the seats that kind of set around in that section, you do see a couple people waiting. There's not many. It's just like 3 people sitting off to the side, just waiting their turn. You do see the person working at the service desk, and it's kind of greeting and speaking with anybody that approaches, and answering questions, sometimes not even related to whatever's going on with them, and then kind of ushering them on and so on and so forth. But yeah, you do see a couple people waiting.
I head over to the lady or the man behind the desk.
Yep, it is a kind of tall drow male. You notice something very similar with the individuals that represent the Kraybot. A lot of them have a very... their look is very androgynous. It's really hard to tell if they're male or female. Some of them play on that a little bit more with the way they talk and things of that nature. This individual, however, as you walk up, you can definitely, right off the bat, you can tell he's a guy. He, greets you with a very kind of hearty hello, and how's it going? What can I do for you?
I was curious if
Traylith?
Traylith?
Terith? I don't know how to say his name. TerYth.
Hold on, I'm pulling up the character sheet here.
So as she's fumbling with it, there's a little tickle in the back of Vivien's mind, and then you hear a voice that you've never heard before, and it says, Treyeth.
Nope.
Nope.
Terith. Terith is
Tereth.
correct.
It says Tereth because she would know how to pronounce it.
It says
Terith.
Terith.
Yes.
Terith.
Can I share this? Here. I'll show this to you guys. That is Terith Kraybot.
No, I
No,
don't
we
think I've
hadn't
seen
seen
that
that.
picture.
Nope.
There you go.
Pretty hot.
Pretty hot.
Vivien took that whole invading her mind thing pretty well.
She was totally okay with it. It's not like she hasn't been experiencing that for the past 2 days.
True.
Since I was like 10.
Also true.
So yeah, is Terith... I'm sorry, I forgot how to say his name already.
You mean Representative Kraybot?
Yeah.
Yes, they are in today.
Cool. So we just wait in line?
Yes, you can sit over here with the rest of them.
I will sit down.
Takes a little bit of time. Obviously, Representative's Day is very busy. Wait about probably close to an hour before the entire group that was there before you has slowly gone away. And then you hear as the individual working at the desk kind of stands up and waves over to you and Representative Kraybot will see you now.
I will head over there.
Okay.
Yep.
As you begin to walk over, you kind of know from what you've been seeing so far, when an individual's called up, you watch as there's an escort that will kind of accompany you. And they'll walk up and kind of greet you, give you we're going to take you up to see the representative. Don't try anything stupid because we'll fucking kill you. They kind of give everybody that whole speech about, don't be dumb. You know what's about to happen if you try it.
Man, I actually really hope that they just said, "Don't do anything stupid. We'll fucking kill
We'll
you."
fucking
Because
kill you.
that's like a refreshing bit of honesty about like how like I've given you this speech like 100 times a day. I don't give a shit anymore. I
Yeah.
will fucking end you.
And this guy, like, especially the individual that's walking up to meet with you, like he's very much like almost to that point where he's just like, I don't like, look, you fuck up, you're done. I don't care. All right. Look, you're going to go speak to the representative. You stay in line. Everything's going to be cool. And he has that very laid back feeling to him. Like, and you're like, okay, cool. I can relate to this guy.
He doesn't want to be.
He doesn't want to be what?
He doesn't want to be here any more than we do.
Yeah, I mean, this goes back to the conversation I was saying about Arvon. Arvon's literally at the I'm too old for this shit phase in his life right now.
I like that meme I made. It was pretty good.
So yeah, you are accompanied by the escort that takes you up the stairs and kind of wandering on this second level here, off towards the back. You make your way over kind of close to where this outer wall is. It kind of overlooks this courtyard. From here, as you kind of walk forward, you walk into a very nicely furnished office. Everything in this ebon-colored wood kind of sprawled all throughout the chambers. Has a very modern flair to it. Everything is just nice and clean and almost stylish would be the appropriate word. And as you walk in, you see in the back of the chambers Representative Cravot standing there kind of overlooking the courtyard, looking out through the glass window in front of him, and kind of just watching the people that are hanging out there. And as the door swings open, he stops or they stop and kind of turn and look in your direction. And, oh, I remember you. Please come in, have a seat.
I'll sit down.
Yes.
So,
I will also sit down.
So, how does the relic hunting go?
Not good.
What do you mean not good?
We went and
Me waiting with anticipation.
We spoke with Sheriff,
Yes.
and he's demanding double payment for taking us there.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
Sheriff is demanding a double payment.
I heard you. Just...
Seriously looks outside to see if that guard is on his way.
The guard is not on his way.
Double payment!
Double payment? Get the fuck out of my office.
He says it's because he's gone there twice and both groups died.
And I have paid him accordingly for every death.
Hey, don't be mad at us. Be mad at Sheriff.
This bastard is going to be the death of me. Fine. Go back to Sheriff. Tell him he will get his double payment. And tell him if he doesn't bring me the relic this time, I will have him executed in town square. I don't care anymore.
Okay.
This man has cost me more than I wish to really think about, and to be honest, I feel like I am being swindled.
Yeah, seriously, I'll kind of nod at that. Like, yeah, that makes sense.
Nod.
Vivien looks like super intimidated by this dude.
So, and again, and I made the mistake, and I said he when it's more they. And they are... It's really odd, because they have a very feminine approach. And at the same time, now that the representative's mad, like, they're slamming their fists down and, like, they're literally not having anything to do with this. They're just pissed at this point. Because, like, the first time when you guys met, Tareth, they were with, I don't remember, they were with Gilly Gladamain. And it was a very kind of laid back and enjoyable. Everybody's having fun and getting to talk. And, oh yeah, by the way, can you help me take care of this problem that I have? And now, coming into their office, the representative's very uptight, especially, obviously, hearing that they're now going to be paying 400 platinum to get this thing back.
I'd be upset too.
I'd be super upset if I had to now pay 400 platinum to get something that originally was going to be 200. I'd be upset just paying 200. Let's be real with that.
Maybe there'll be an accident.
Accident. And then you don't have to pay. It's fine. totally fine. Like, kill off the guy that you're going to pay and take his airship. Wait, don't do that, guys. Okay?
Hey
Don't
guys,
get
I have a great idea.
I mean, if he doesn't make it back from the trip, we don't have to pay him.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. Pretty much.
Thank you, Representative Kraybot. I'm sorry we had to bring you this message.
Yeah, I'm sorry too.
We'll be next time you see us. We'll be back with hopefully better news and hopefully the artifact.
Very well. And if there's anything else that I can do for you, well, please just let me know.
Vivien just kind of gets up and leaves.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna.
Yes.
I'm gonna leave. That very much sounded less like I'll do whatever I can to help you, more get the fuck out of my office.
This is a nice way of saying get the fuck out.
Yeah, this is literally me telling you, get the fuck out of my office, please.
Calypso at least gives a courteous bow and leaves.
To which Representative Kraybot nods their head forward towards you. So you make your way out of the office. The guard is still standing, or the escort is still standing on the outside of the door. Looks at you, sees everything's okay. Didn't hear any yelling or screaming or anything like that, and kind of looks at you with a bit of a smile. Well, that went better than I thought it was going to. Everything went okay then, yes?
He's a little irritated with the news we gave him, but everything should be fine.
Yes.
They're very intimidating.
They are very intimidating. It happens sometimes, unfortunately. But everything is okay. And you're not dead. You're standing in front of me. There was no fight. There was no scuffle, no kerfuffle, no any of that. So everything is good. So we're going to go back downstairs, and I'm going to escort you out the door unless you have anything else you need to do here.
Does that normally happen? You make it sound like that happens quite a lot.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Okay, you sounded like you wanted it to have happened.
I look forward to that happening, because then I have a reason to do something other than escort individuals such as yourselves upstairs and then back downstairs again.
That's
Have you
fair.
considered painting?
No. Should I?
It might help pass the time.
I think you'd be good at it.
I do have a steady hand.
Exactly. It's the same kind of motions, the hand strokes.
Yes, I could see that. Perhaps I'll take that up. And maybe next time that you come here, I will paint you a picture, since you have given me this inspiration.
I hope we come back here and we see, like, just the walls. with
Everything's
several-
covered in like these random paintings. And you watch
Yeah, just like we see the progress of
yes,
his
thank
learning
you. Like
the campaign.
it starts off as literally like stick figure shit, and then like it gets progressively better over time.
By the end of the game, it's like the Sistine Scene Chapel.
He's literally painting
We
the
get
Mona
the
Lisa at that point.
we get the epilogue, and it's like,
Yeah.
because you encouraged him to paint, he's become a famous artist.
His paintings now go for thousands upon thousands of gold.
I'd be proud of us.
I'm gonna,
Still a better choice and reaction than anything I've ever seen in a Telltale game. Yeah, that's right. I said it.
I said
I
it.
fucking said it.
Random guard will remember this.
Mm-hmm.
Or Life is Strange, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said that too.
I haven't finished that yet, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be
Don't.
disappointing.
Don't. It's bad.
Yeah.
I stopped at halfway through episode 4 because it's hot garbage.
I've gotten through 2 episodes, and I was like, okay, I want to keep
It doesn't
going.
get
but,
better. It doesn't
Vivian?
get better.
Yep, go ahead, Vivien.
I'm gonna turn to everybody and are we gonna go back to Sheriff and tell him the news? Or do we want to save that for another day?
I don't.
What time is it? Oh, benevolent
it's-
voice in the clouds.
It's still pretty early. I mean, you guys got up late, and I say late as in like 11 bells in the morning. you got up late because you're kind of hungover. You still haven't heard from Freddy, which is a little
I'm sure it's
unnerving.
fine.
Yeah, it's a
Maybe
little
we
unnerving.
should try to find Freddy.
Do you
Normally-
do you have any
normally
idea where he went?
I'd assume he went back to the Flaming Fist. At least it would be a place to
Yeah, the Flaming Fist
I've-
is close to here,
So
right?
let me run this idea by you real quick. 2 half-drow, a tiefling, and an elf approach the Flaming Fist.
Who
Well,
are
I know
totally
we're
look.
here.
The Flaming Fists are totally not racist, though.
I feel like if you have to make sure that you have to assure somebody of that it's maybe not a true statement.
Guys, I'm sure I can get us in. Uncle Belvedere loves me.
Again, that voice in your head goes, have you met him besides?
He
Actually,
calls
have
me
you
my
met him at all?
He calls me that sweet little abomination. He loves me.
He is my favorite uncle. He came and visited me all the time when I was younger.
By the way, you
He was
two,
the only.
you two can't hear Circe. so Vivien's
my
just talking.
My joke was out of character.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
no, I'm yes. Have you met him? How do you have any other uncles?
Uncle Belvedere was the only person my mom told about me.
Why?
I don't know. You'd have to ask her.
Will Smith look at her pose? Oh.
It's because he's not really the uncle.
I got you.
I'm a tiefling. My God.
I see you say that, but tieflings can just kind of happen.
Yeah, like that's old lore. Is tieflings just sprouted up? There was no like only tieflings make tieflings.
I know people shipped Avalana and Belvedere, but they were just friends.
Don't sink the ship. Come on.
Don't think the shit.
Don't do it.
Avalana got married to a tiefling.
Look,
Fine.
look.
Ship is sunk.
Hold
Thank
on.
you.
So let's put this into perspective here. Of all of the people that Avalana could have possibly hooked up with, which include a fire giant king and a wannabe god.
I'm glad that you made sure that you added him.
She also tried to hook up with Dorn
Uh-huh.
and the king.
No, not the king. No.
The Fire King.
Yeah, that's why I said the fire giant king. Yep.
Yeah, she was willing to try and make that work.
Like the logistics of that alone are mind-blowing. Let's be honest.
You gotta try all the angles before
There
you
are half
discount
giants, though.
I mean, come on, there's enlarge person is a spell, or reduce person for that matter.
or just elasticity.
Disturbing.
This conversation went in a path that,
Off the rails.
Yeah. So, you make your way out of the Hall of the 22. You're now standing back within the city of Upper Cleto, or within the ward of Upper Cleto. What are you doing?
Well, let's see here.
The
We
options
could go
are-
talk to Sheris, but I don't really want to because I feel like that would kind of get us going on that quest line, and I don't want to do that when Spoon's not here. And I don't want to go look for Freddy because Spoon's not here.
Yeah.
Well, he's
anybody
not
wanna-
gonna be. He's not gonna be ready to go right now. He'll give us
Who,
a
Sheris?
timetable on.
Oh yeah,
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 he's-
I guess.
We can get him started on preparing the ship.
True.
Yeah,
Let's
I guess
go to
we can do
Sheris.
that.
Man, Vivien wants to talk to Belvedere.
Never gonna happen.
You can like say that that's what you want to do.
No,
In
Vivien's gonna
character.
go with the group.
Well,
I mean, we can go see Belvedere.
I think what Circe is saying is, if you wanted to go and try to see Belvedere, you could go to basically be like, hey, maybe we should go and get Freddy, and then while we're here, give me a couple minutes and let me talk to Belvedere.
Yeah, I know that, but Spoon's not here, so we can't get him. So
Right, but we're
We
kind
also
of
have like 9 minutes.
yeah, we're kind of at the point where it's going to be ending here in just a few anyways, so that's okay.
Okay, Vivien says, well, why don't we just go? Because I really want to speak to Belvedere about something.
Okay.
Is it about the fact that you're hearing voices in your head? Voices in your head, voices in your head, voices in your head.
Is Circe saying that in my head?
Yes. That is so, because I was able to switch to Aberrant Mind, one of my abilities is I link my mind to somebody else's and I can speak to them.
That's something a
Forge
great
Life.
old one warlock can do.
Yep. But this, yeah, it basically just made a Cthulhu sorcerer.
So good. It was
Yeah.
practically made for it.
In the back of your head, as Circe keeps whispering to you over and over and over, you hear a more prominent voice saying, just ignore her. She'll go away if you just ignore her.
Who is that? Is this a party line?
Okay.
And then
I'm
Kaifon
assuming
chimes in, ignore me!
Ignore me.
How many voices can we get in this girl's head?
Too many.
And then Kai shows up and he's like, what the hell is going on? I called dibs.
What did you say, Bailey?
Was that Kai?
Yeah.
I ignore both of them.
Poor Kai.
Poor Kai. All right, so heading over to Fort Eltan, then.
Yes, because that's what Vivien wants to do.
And that's where Vivien wants to go.
And we need to get Freddy.
And go get Freddy, because Freddy is there. All right, so 1 sec. Eltan's Vision is the name of the ward. All right, so you head there. Let's move you to the map. And I can ping you guys if you didn't see where you're at. You're down here. Yep. Taking the SLR, jumping off at the station, the green light station, which is where that little dot is there. Hop off at the station and wander into Fort Eltan and Eltan's Vision, the ward dedicated just to the Flaming Fist and the individuals that are recruits and members here. As you begin to wander around here, you're noticing it's kind of quiet. At least quiet for what you would kind of consider a military base to be. As you wander in off to the southwest, you see this triangular shaped building, very, to you it looks odd, kind of out of place. It slopes back and almost like the bottom corners, so like if you're here and down here, are like implanted into the ground, and then it goes up to a straight point up in the corner. It's like this very contemporary-ish style building. all made of the same just standard sandstone material, going all the way up with this opening in the dead center of it, right about here, that opens up so that you can enter into it. You see a lot of members of the military, the Flaming Fists, hanging out around this building. The center building here, however, is the main tower. This is where, when Freddy first came here, he met with Belvedere at the top of the tower that kind of overlooked the entire area here. And then a couple of barrack buildings off to the sides here and here. You also see up in this direction and kind of archway that leads back out in this kind of grassy area, and you're kind of wandering around at this point. Everybody's pretty accepting of you being here as long as you're not like interfering. And you kind of wander around and you look out in this section, and this is where some of the recruits train. So they're doing all of their like exercise routines and things of that nature. Exactly, yeah. All the recruit stuff where they're just trying to get prepared and going through the equivalent of like a basic training kind of thing. As you're wandering around within this section of the ward and kind of looking, everything here, like I said, it's the numbers are very low compared to what you would think it would be for something that's supposed to be like a major militia within the city. You stop and kind of take a look around, and after a couple minutes, you turn and look and head back over towards the tower, and as you're approaching the tower, you see Belvedere standing there and just kind of watching and paying attention. And next to him, you see Freddy. Everybody, they're both just kind of taking a look over the group and everything that's here. And as you begin to approach, you notice Belvedere kind of motions for you and kind of waves you over. And as you begin to approach, he looks over the entire party and over at Vivien and stops for a second and says, "It's been quite some time since we've had a chance to talk."
I take a shot at Belvedere.
Been a few years now.
Did you just attack Belvedere?
I'm joking.
Go ahead, attack the paladin.
I'm not actually going to attack a level, at least, in the area where his entire army is.
Go ahead. No, I want to see this play out.
You can do it.
Go ahead,
No,
go ahead, Ranger.
Ranger. What did you say, Vivien?
I said it's been a few years.
Yes, it has. I see you're doing
You haven't
well.
been able to come visit for a while.
Things aren't exactly perfect here.
I'm sorry to hear it.
I'm sorry I
Mother
couldn't-
gives her love.
I appreciate that. How's she doing? She's well?
She was very nervous to let me come here, but she is healthy and doing well. She's been booking a lot of shows.
Understandable. I'm glad to see you here. And kind of with that, he stops and almost
I
like...
didn't hear anything you said.
Oh.
I heard I'm glad.
Oh, he said, "I'm glad to see you're here."
It happened again.
Did it?
I heard him okay that time.
I also heard him okay.
Okay, I was like, wait, am I cutting out? Hold on. No, he said,
For me, for some reason, I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, no, he said, I'm glad to see that you're here.
It keeps cutting out for me.
Try leaving and coming back in.
Yeah.
That sometimes fixes it.
Okay, are you here?
Yes.
Okay. You said, I'm glad to see that you're here.
Okay, I heard that time.
Okay.
I'm glad to see you as well.
I take it that the Gladamanes asked that you come here?
Yes, once they found out that I existed, they were wanting to meet me and teach me about this other side of my family.
Yes, I may have had something to do with that.
Mom won't be happy to hear that you spilled the beans.
There are worse things, I suppose. But
I don't know how often you've seen her angry.
with that, he kind of laughs and motions for you, and the rest of you, kind of leading you into this tower, taking you inside. As soon as you walk in, you begin to immediately recognize this is more of, at the bottom sections, the first couple of levels of this tower, it's more of like a logistics and planning kind of place, and then as you get to the top of the tower, that's where Belvedere's suite resides. But with that, as you reach the top of the tower and everybody's sitting down with Belvedere, Jehoshaphat, we're going to end our session there.
Woo.
Woo.
Hooray! Fun session.
See, he didn't hate everybody.
Didn't hate
No, we didn't
everybody.
think that he would hate everybody.
We're just joking about the Flaming Fist because they are massive racists.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Yep, they are. Okay, well, say bye to stream. We're gonna.
Bye,
Good night,
stream.
everybody.
Stream.
Bye-bye.